Now, you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWineRadio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're going to get rolling on this right away here because she's pressed for time. Becky Sue Epstein is traveling, and she's joining us from deep inside a hill in Umbria. Becky Sue, I swear.
Literally, I am in a hill. My phone doesn't work. I had to find a landline.
You know what? If it weren't for champagne, I have long been an advocate of one of my favorite wines of the whole world has got to be Orvieto. So are where you're at, do they make Orvieto?
Yes, they do. Oh, I think someone just picked up the phone. Sorry. Do you want to ask that again?
No, I love Orvieto. The winery that you're at, the cellar that you're at, do they make Orvieto?
Well, considering I've been here for 3 seconds.
So you don't know.
And I have red wine in my glass.
Oh.
So, and it just said the basic red wine. There is a brochure here, but anyhow, whatever I'm drinking, I'm sure will be fine.
Oh, so you've been have you already been to Calabria?
Yes, actually, we came up from Calabria today, and we barely made it to the airport. But they're much more lenient in the farther south you get. You show up 40 minutes ahead. It's not a problem. We'll get you on the luggage, blah blah blah. And then we had to wait forever in the airport for some other journalists coming in from Oslo and from Finland.
Wow.
So we had to wait 2 hours to come straight to this dinner where everyone but us is dressed beautifully, and the hair is amazing. These women have beautiful Italian hair.
Are you going to take some pictures and put them up on your website?
Of the women, I should.
Yes.
I really should.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yes.
But I have spent the last week in Calabria with a group of wineries that were just made a DOP, which was the old DOC, this year. They were only approved last June, and this is their first harvest, is 2012. And so they're pretty excited about it. And they showed us, the hillside and the sea and the wonderful food and the archaeology and the licorice factory that's famous there. And I mean, we really had a fascinating time. And the wines, they're carving out their identity in this place. It's called Terra di Cosenza. Terra, Terre di Cosenza, Cosenza.
Okay.
So I think Americans can say Cosenza.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're known mostly for a red grape that we've never heard of called Malioco. And Malioco actually made more of a sweet wine in the past, I understand. But now they're fermenting it dry, and they're really... We tried it in many different places, and they're really learning how to deal with this grape. In some places, they add a little Cabernet Sauvignon. In some places, they put it in barrels for a few months. It's a delicate balance between making it. It's got almost a sweet taste, but no sugar. So it should do really well in the international market because the fastest growing segment is sweet-tasting red wines, whether they're fruity or sweet. They seem sweet. So if they can carve out this Malioco identity, they'll be doing great.
Could you tell us the new DOP Does that stand for denomination of origin, and what does the P stand for?
I think it's protected.
Okay.
And
that's all of...
It's replaced DOC, and it's going to replace DOCG in 2 years. There will be no more DOCG either.
Wow.
Everyone goes to DOP. And as somebody said, Amarone is not going to be too happy because they only got their DOCG status 2 years ago, and now it's going away.
Well, those wines that were from those vintages with DOCG on the labels will probably be collectible.
Oh, yeah. They don't have to change the labels or anything. It's just, it starts from, like I said, for Terra di Consenza, starts with the 2012 harvest, even though it was approved last year.
Okay.
I don't know if most people know where Calabria is, but it's the toe of the boot. It sort of sticks out towards Sicily. And but we don't think of it as having any wine at all because in 1960 they went through a whole period of agrarian reform. It used to be kind of feudal down there where, the peasants worked the land and gave the owners a percentage. And there was agrarian reform in 1960, and everybody left for the cities because they couldn't make a living on their own on their little farms. And they basically, whatever the wine they produced, they kind of drank there. And it's only been the last 10 years that they've been trying to upgrade the quality and upgrade, rediscover their indigenous grapes and really kind of celebrate their own identity. And now there's hardly any. There may be, like 3 bottles of this wine in the U.S., but it's coming. It is coming. Terra di Consenza is coming.
Yeah, there's a biodynamic winemaker that I mentioned to you that I'm going to be interviewing in a month, and his wines are from Calabria, and he's just has brand new distribution in the U.S. Can I ask you, as the crow flies from Calabria, how far would it be then jumping off to the island of Pantelleria?
Where I was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, you would go south to the very toe of the boot and then take a little ferry across to Sicily, go all the way across the top of Sicily, and then take a 6-hour ferry south.
Oh, wow.
From Trapani south.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Okay. Okay, now with Umbria, and I've been to Umbria before, and I remember Umbria as a place where I had a lovely motion sickness so bad because of everything was on top of the hills, but also a lot of truffles come from Umbria.
Yes, I think the truffle season is just starting out in Alba now, and as I said, we've only been here for a few minutes, so I haven't had a chance to ask anybody what's going on. But we were talking about it in the bus.
How long are you going to be in Umbria?
I'll be here for 3 days, I think, and then I go on to Rome. There's a big thing called Taste Umbria with all the, one of the winemakers right now at Cantino Roccafiore. And one of the winemakers here has organized us to visit a lot of different wineries tomorrow. Okay. But also he's brought in some of his friends from all over the world. I mean, from all over Italy for us to taste their top wines.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be pretty interesting because we have to blind taste them on Sunday morning or Saturday morning. I can't remember which.
Well, if anybody sounds that, they have some distribution in the U.S., I would love to interview a winemaker or two from Umbria in the coming months. I just love the wines of Umbria.
Oh, there definitely are. Yes,
okay.
There's definitely that.
Okay.
So, anyhow, this is a whole different area because it was 85 degrees in Calabria this morning, and now we're in, autumn in the hills of, north of Rome. So it's a whole different feel. We just feel like we're in a different country. I can understand why it was a problem to unite the whole of Italy because it's just like going from, Florida to Minnesota. The culture is so different. Of course, it's much cuter here.
All of your flying, you were using the Delta Air France KLM Alitalia line. Were you then using that also from getting from Boston to Calabria to Umbria and then on to Rome? Was it all the same airline?
Yeah, it is, and it's pretty seamless. I mean, you sort of don't expect that you'll see your luggage again, and then it shows up. And they've really integrated all the systems with Alitalia Air France Delta, and you can use the same frequent flyer miles, which is important to someone like me because I want to bring my husband at some point on frequent flyer miles to a trip.
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh, do you guys have something planned for 2013 trip?
Not quite yet. So, but we did that this year. We went to Georgia and Armenia. So, using basically that same airline. It integrates with, I think, Georgian Airlines or Armenia. Air France goes to Armenia.
Okay, now before we close out this segment, can I also mention that your American Lighthouse Cookbook was just published, and wasn't another one of your books just published, just released?
Well, my book about Champagne, a Global History. I can't get it out. Is an ebook now, so you can just put it on your phone or whatever, and it talks about what to drink, how to store, how to serve, and then tidbits about the history that people really like to use at parties.
Oh yeah. Okay, so are you going to get out of your jeans and go get changed before you eat?
No, we're in this winery in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my gosh!
So we're going to have to be the disgraceful wine journalists that, have been on the road for a whole day. But that's what it is. I'm sure the food's going to be fabulous because I looked at a couple of appetizers and the red wine is starting to flow, and it's going to be a wonderful weekend. Well, even though we haven't slept or changed our clothes in days. No, we're fine.
Oh my gosh! Well, it's so wonderful you were able to get a landline over there where you're at in the middle of some hill of a winery in Umbria, and we thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Lynn.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWineRadio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWineRadio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.